This Late Night Linux Family podcast is made possible by our patrons. Go to latenightlinux.com/support for details of how you can join them. Support us on Patreon for access to ad-free episodes and early releases. That's latenightlinux.com/support. Hello and welcome to episode 369 of Late Night Linux, recorded on the 12th of January 2026. I'm Joe, and with me are Fading.
Just in time.
Graham.
Hello.
And Will.
Hello.
We haven't done feedback for ages, so let's do some now. Christian writes, regarding using your old devices as a clock, just a word of warning, the batteries on those devices are not designed to be constantly plugged in. They'll probably start to inflate over time. Some old Android phones can work without a battery if you know how to solder. I removed one in a Moto G after the battery ejected itself. Otherwise, disconnect from power once in a while. Don't want a fire risk. Yes, this is a very good point, Christian. Thank you for pointing it out. I've started unplugging my two tablets when not in use now.
It's interesting that phones and tablets don't have a sort of bypass mode in them or don't function if you take the battery out. Because as a home assistant device, putting a tablet on a wall, like lots of people want to do that. And you can't just go and buy a tablet off the shelf and plug it in and use it forever. One, because you have to have the power cable hanging out the side of it, which looks kind of weird. And two, it may well explode and catch fire if you leave it plugged in. And I don't really see many devices, well, I know of one device that is an Android tablet on a very, very small, like 85 millimeter square screen that is the size of a typical UK switch socket kind of thing. Other than that, I don't know of any that you can use as a full-time display in your home. And I wonder if anybody's making these devices.
I don't want to recommend Amazon, but a second-hand first-gen Echo Show 5 or 8 will do it with the bootloader unlocked and Lineage running. And it works really well, and at least it's second-hand.
And how much are they?
I think they're going for about 40 or 50, 60 pounds, so they're still quite pricey, so maybe there are people using them for this.
I think for a Home Assistant type dashboard, that would make sense, but for a clock, it's a bit too much to pay, really, when you could just buy a clock for a lot less.
Spend a few quid more, you get one that makes you a cup of tea in the morning.
Well, yeah, exactly. All right, Richard writes, hey guys, just donated to the Mozilla Foundation. It was not $10,000, but it wasn't nothing either. When I opened my Firefox today, I was met with a donation screen. So I guess they are listening to your advice about small dollar donations.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I've never seen it, but they should definitely do more of it.
I wonder is that tied into that user survey stuff?
Possibly.
Which I've turned off after they fucked that up the last time.
Well, Richard also says, I'm not ready to surrender the browser wars to Chromium quite yet. As much as you hate Mozilla, I hate Chrome more. I've not used Chrome as my main browser ever. The only time I use Chrome is when I absolutely have to, and that doesn't happen more than a few times a year.
Yeah, pretty much my story too.
Yeah, and well, that ties into what Matt said. I've been using Firefox for about 20 years, but with Mozilla's new CEO joining the AI shower of bastards choir, I think it's time I moved on, but I don't know where to go anymore. Would moving to one of the forks be advisable? Florp and Zen sound good on paper, but are they secure and privacy respecting? Yeah, I don't know about on paper. Or would moving to a different Chromium-based browser like Vivaldi or the browser that shall not be named be a better option? I honestly don't know at this point. Well, definitely not the browser that should not be named. The hate browser, the hate crypto browser. Let's not even name that one. Vivaldi looks cool and they're anti-AI, but it's not 100% open source and it's Chromium-based, so it's just a bit of a no-go for me.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's hard to judge how well the Firefox flavors will do long term. I have heard very good things about Wolf, some LibreWolf, that's it.
Yeah.
I've heard good things, and that like the security patches are out quicker than the PPA for KDE Neon's Firefox / the Snap was. So I don't know. I definitely don't see anything Chrome being in my future, and yeah, it's not like you can have Gecko and something else. So unless somebody invests a couple of million in Servo, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the downstream forks of Firefox is that they're downstream. So they are at the whim of Mozilla. If Mozilla disappears, then they disappear. All right, let's live for the moment then and just not worry about it for now. But yeah, that security story is really important. Mozilla has a proper security team and they are on it with pushing patches. And I like to think that if I use the snap of Firefox, I'm going to get those patches reasonably quickly. Whereas the downstream forks of it, they are small teams and they might not necessarily be able to do these security fixes that quickly. But it sounds like LibreWolf does then, Phelim.
Yeah, seems to.
That sounds good.
I don't know whether, was it you, Graham, that suggested that we have a changes.org petition to see who should get rid of the board or not, and whether that would be a fun way to do it or not. But yeah, I honestly think somebody has to do something to tell them that they're absolutely shite at their job and they just all need to stop. Because let's face it, that's what it looks like Mozilla does. It's, you get on the board, you earn a lot of money, and you sit around and you manage to get by the time you finish your term, the percentage is even lower again.
Yeah, meanwhile, the bureaucracy grows and the user base shrinks. Well, we often hear from people suggesting these downstream forks, but, with this security story in mind, do let us know which downstream fork you recommend. show@latenightlinux.com.
And also how well you manage to swap from one side to the other with your settings, because I don't fancy that bit. That's a bit that stopped me so far.
Brian writes, take a look at Fastmail as an alternative to Gmail. Its interface is very similar to how Gmail was before they added all their AI bullshit. It has calendar, contacts, static file hosting, a really nice mobile client, and respects your privacy. I migrated from hosting my own email in December 2024 to Fastmail and haven't looked back.
Boo.
I hated to do it, however, I got tired of fighting deliverability issues with my email.
Boo.
Come on, let's just take that second bit out for a second. If you're currently on Gmail, I hear a lot of good things about Fastmail.
I find Fastmail and a lot of these other hosted systems live in this strange hinterland between I don't want all of my personal email being scanned by Google and I don't want to pay for somebody to host my email. And I look at the pricing on Fastmail and it's like £5 a month or something, but that's for one email address. And I think that's a Fastmail email address, not your own domain or whatever. If you want your own domain, I think you have to use the business tier. And that is £2.70 a month per user. And I've got hundreds of email addresses on there that I, make up every time I register for a website. So I think this could end up costing me tens and tens of pounds a month. And I just can't square that circle of being willing to pay that amount of money. I think I'd rather host it myself, and then I don't want to host it myself, and then I do nothing about it.
Yeah. Inertia is a real thing, isn't it? Like moving your email is just a pain in the ass. And although fuck Google, obviously, they tied us in 15, 20 years ago. And now we're kind of stuck, aren't we? Well, not stuck, but stuck by laziness.
For me, the threshold is getting closer and closer. I still have my private email, but most of my stuff is in Google. But I definitely thought the same thing about images, my photos, which were in a few places. And I thought I hated the thought of unraveling that mess and taking back ownership over them. But I've done it and I feel really good about it. And I feel the same kind of attitude changing in myself anyway towards my email.
You say you've taken control of your photos though. And yeah, image is great and everything, but you're not even backing it up, are you?
I have set up a backup system for my photos.
Ah.
It's going to send us $5.
Yeah. What, to more than one drive or what?
To another location.
Another undisclosed location. Okay.
What a politician answer. What a politician answer. Is it stored on discs? It's stored on a medium, yes. It might be vinyl. I'm not telling you.
I've always had like a NAS at my mum's house. So I've got it arse syncing to there.
Right. Oh, well, that's good then. Right.
That's my family would never forgive me if we lost some of that stuff. And also for now, it still lives on most of our phones. But yeah, I do have that syncing.
Right, good. Well done, Graham. Round of applause.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's do some discoveries then. Graham, CAW Core, a Rust-based modular synthesizer.
Oh my God, it hits all the boxes.
Yeah, I haven't used this yet, but thanks to Jesse Cook on Mastodon for letting me know about it. And it does look very cool. It's basically a Rust-based set of libraries for using with your own Rust applications to develop audio synthesizer software.
Oh God.
But I actually use a piece of software like this. I think I've mentioned it before, the Chuck programming language, to do something very similar. Sometimes the easiest way to just mess around with sound and notes is to just program it. It's better than just dropping notes onto a matrix and even doing kind of logic operations, which some applications allow. You just want to kind of create a melody, create a function out of that melody, paste it to, something that generates a sound. And so I am actually really interested in these kind of programming-based synthesizer or sound generators. And this looks excellent. I don't know Rust, but it's been on my to-do list for ages. And maybe this is the reason to learn something about Rust, because CAW or Core solves all the complicated kind of boring audio problems for you, so you can just get straight into having the fun. And so looking at the examples in the code, it's very simple, for example, to create a sound or to create a load of notes and to send that to the sound and to create a function out of that, or a procedure to kind of algorithmically generate music and then filter them and create effects. Even if you don't know Rust, I can see it's actually, you can do it in 5 or 10 lines. And there are examples that build drum machines from these things that are no more than 50 lines of commented code. So it looks like a lot of fun if you're interested, and if you're interested in Rust and sound.
It sounds like a kind of, dare I say, grown-up version of Sonic Pi, almost.
Yeah, I think you're right, although Sonic Pi is so supremely capable. But yeah, I agree with you. It's the same kind of thing.
Well, they win with that logo for me. That is excellent. I don't know, is it a raven or a crow or whatever it is?
I guess that's why it's Core, or it must make their Core sound, yeah.
Yeah, and it's playing a cool guitar.
And I think people have created some kind of graphical widgets for parts of it. So I don't know. It's also a project in very early stages, but I do love this kind of thing.
Phelim, FOSS flow.
Right. I had to draw a diagram for work, and I attempted to draw a diagram in LibreOffice Draw. And I'm going to share to you guys a very quick censored image of it, because this is the best I could come up with.
Drawing penises again, Phelim.
Yes. Sorry. So you can have a look at this tragedy, I think is the only term I could use for it.
Oh my God.
Right, you don't have to be that fucking harsh. Go on.
Actual stick men.
Yeah.
Is that the acid smiley face?
It is the one that came in the default fucking box in LibreOffice Draw, and that is what I used. So shut up.
Well, I'm just going to copy that onto my NAS so I can put it into the show
You are
notes.
not going to copy that onto your... That is proprietary, by the way. It's not really. There's nothing top secret on there at all. But yes, it's terrible. And I often find that the default look and feel of these drawing apps is shocking. And I don't know why they can't get somebody who can actually draw something to get involved. Well, FOSS Flow actually has some decent looking artwork in it. So there's an example of even just the initial picture that somebody has drawn there of a payment process going through to multiple servers through a load balancer. All of that looks brilliant. It looks exactly like you would expect on a proper document, and you can do your own. And it's dead easy, runs in a browser. You can install it as a PWA to a browser that supports it. I think that's only Chrome-based ones right now, which is annoying, but that's Firefox not doing what they should. But you can install it to your own server, or you can run it on the one that he has running online. Nice and easy, although I still found myself challenged as to how to get certain stuff to lay out the way I want to, but that's just me not reading documentation properly. But yes, here you go. Professional looking diagrams.
It reminds me of Visio before Microsoft took it over.
Exactly. That's exactly the thing. It's actually quite nice diagrams when you see them done properly. And they look easy. And then every time somebody says, oh, just use Dia. Yeah, no, don't. Don't ever do that to yourself.
I'm convinced you've had something very similar to this before, but I can't find it.
I did, but it was more server-based stuff. So this is more, I would say, slides for the business types.
Right.
The previous one was more for documenting your actual network infrastructure and stuff, and it would save it down to Markdown. And do you think I can remember it? I can't.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, you could save it all as text files, yeah.
Yeah, can't remember what it is.
And I couldn't find it in latenightlinux.com/discoveries either.
Yeah, I've sometimes actually known I did a particular discovery and walked through every episode on Matt's page there, but yeah, hasn't worked out. So I just entirely blame him. It's nothing to do with my own incompetence of not keeping track of what I've actually done in my life.
I like the fact that the save format is a JSON file, which is nice and portable. Is there a run mode that will allow you to just generate a bitmap or a JPEG or whatever from a JSON file? Point being, could you write and store your documentation and your diagrams in a repo of some sort and then automate the production of your manuals or your documentation from that? Does it have that sort of run mode?
That is a very good question, and I actually genuinely don't know.
I bet it does. You can npm install it, so I imagine it does. I will look into that because this could be a really nice way of storing documentation.
Yeah, and I think it actually stores the image information about those clip art bits inside the file because the file is quite large. Like I did a demo one that was literally 2 cubes on the paper. On the paper, for God's sake. You know what I meant. And it is about 2.5 megabytes big, and I looked through it and I could see a lot of binary info in there. So I think all of that data might be inside the file, which is quite good then if you don't have it already. So it doesn't mean you have to share clip art around.
Yeah, good for not having to embed separate bitmaps and JPEGs and whatnot to point to. Bad for wanting to be able to diff one save from another, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that would be that one that we can't remember what it was that I had the last time.
Yeah.
I have discovered Blade Runner Radio. So this is a musician called Lux on YouTube, and it's a 24-hour live stream of their albums. And in the description, there's links to Spotify and Instagram and also Bandcamp where you can buy these albums. But I just find myself putting this on in the background. It's generally instrumental music. And as the name Blade Runner Radio suggests, it's kind of like the music from Blade Runner. And there's pretty cool visuals happening with it as well. And I've never put it on and thought, I don't like this music. It's great.
Closet winter weather supporter, hashtag ha 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 told you so.
What, just because there's a bit of rain going on?
A bit of rain. It's fucking all rain and it's all darkness. It's winter in the future. Get fucking used to it.
Well, I don't know much about ambient music. I'm sure that there's loads of better stuff out there, but this just really hit the spot for me. I highly recommend it. And you can get a deal on, I think there's dozens of albums from this musician, and there's a deal for €236 for all of them, which I'm afraid I have not paid because I just listened to it on YouTube instead. Sorry. Graham, network survey on Android.
So yeah, this is an open source application called Network Survey that basically collects data across all kinds of network interfaces on your phone. I am incredibly frustrated by my internet at home, and we have fiber to the cabinet and get about 38 megabits per second. It's my own fault for living in a rural area, but we do now get, if I hold my phone out of the top floor window at northeast, when the wind is blowing the right direction, we get a pretty good 5G. So I wanted to know whether it was feasible to, what the pings were like, what latency might be like, whether I could get persistent kind of data. So Network Survey does this for 5G, for 4G, for all kinds of mobile networks, for Bluetooth, for BLE, for Wi-Fi connections. It can log all this kind of data in the background. It can find devices on your network. It seems to be this incredibly well-designed app full of rich information about all kinds of devices on the network. And while it's open source, I installed it from F-Droid. It's also available on Google Play. It's the kind of app I feel should be paid for. The reason why, by default, I look for an open source tool like this is because I don't want my network data to be shared with anybody else on the internet. And this was just a great discovery for me. And I've been playing with it ever since, wherever I'm out and about. I particularly like the Bluetooth scanning because you see it makes sense of all those millions of BLE devices that may be around you and gives you a bit more context and information about them. But it does the same thing for whatever is connected to your phone.
Wow, this is real kitchen sink stuff. It's got like Wi-Fi spectrum stuff. What I thought was GPS, but is GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System. Is that GPS?
Yeah, it's that's if you happen to use Baidu or the Russian one or...
Ah, right. Oh, yeah, see, it's got all the different ones. Wow.
Yeah, complete with like a sky view of where those satellites are in the sky, which is amazing. Yeah, it's a brilliantly designed app.
This reminds me of some of the very old, I think it was on the Nokia N770, where you would drive around in your car with a GPS attached and it would log where it saw open Wi-Fi access points. This is that, but times about 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems definitely up your alley, Will.
Yeah, I could have fun with this, except I haven't got an Android device.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you bought that really terrible Chinese one off Amazon for like 10 quid.
Well, yes. And I sent it back and got a refund because I got an email from Amazon saying, by the way, that device has not been approved by the FCC at all and may or may not be emitting harmful radiation. So why don't you send it back for a refund?
Oh, dear.
At the time, you said, I'm thinking of getting an Android phone. What should I get? I told you, get a second-hand Pixel, dirt cheap. You said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get something off Amazon. And look what happened.
What did he get? He got a block of radioactive fucking shielding from Chernobyl.
But I also paid no money to have that irradiated balls, so it's fine.
Right, well, we better get out of here then. We'll be back next week when it'll probably be news and stuff, but we'll have to see. Until then, I've been Joe.
I've been Phelim.
I've been Graham.
And I've been Will.
See you later.